Finally, we should now have enough to be able to fully heat up our equipment. Are you serious? What in the actual— Hello everybody! My name is Bloody Elevator, and welcome back to Spire Nights. The Equinox event is finally here, but we aren't going to be buying any prize boxes for now, because today we are finally going to finish crafting the Snarbolax weapons and shield. It looks like we have a new guest. Nana. They're selling accessories that go on your armor, that are really expensive and look like some of the monsters that you'll encounter in game. But we aren't here for that. So in the previous Snarbolax crafting video, we stopped earlier because we didn't have the orbs necessary to craft our things. But with some grinding and some patience, we eventually got what we needed, and now we can continue with crafting our equipment. Now we just have to learn all our recipes here, so that we can finally begin working towards crafting the Snarbolax weapons and shield. Right now, we can craft the level 3 versions of the Snarbolax gear, for now. Now we have our Twisted Snarbobarb, Twisted Spine Cone, and our Twisted Targe. And then we can head to the arcade and go heat up our new gear. I also got around to heating up the combustor in the middle of doing that. Because of this, we are now one step closer in working towards preparations for our Shadow Lair expedition. But that's for a later time. Now that we have our new equipment, we just had to heat them up in the arcade so that we can upgrade them, our equipment, to 4 stars. So for this one, I did have to get a heat amplifier and an extra weapon slot, otherwise it would have taken much longer to heat up our equipment for upgrading. Well, let's head on over to the arcade. If you look around, you can probably see others opening up some Equinox prize boxes, which we can't do at the moment because currently we're busy making preparations for visiting the Shadow Lair, whether it's heating up our current equipment that we're going to use, or crafting new equipment that we could use to help us survive the Shadow Lair expedition. So while everyone else is trying their luck with the prize boxes, we'll work towards our Shadow Lair equipment. Then, once we have it all heated up and prepared, we can go and visit a Shadow Lair. Eventually. After a quick trip to the Firestorm Citadel, we managed to level up our 3-star equipment to level 5. Now to heat up everything and begin crafting our 4-star equipment. After a quick unequipping session, we can now craft our Dark Thorn Blade, Spike Shower, and our Dark Thorn Shield. Now that we have our new 4-star equipment, we can now head back to the Firestorm Citadel to heat up our equipment. Finally, we should now have enough to be able to fully heat up our equipment. Are you serious? What in the actual Now that we managed to fully heat up our 4-star equipment, we can now craft the final part of our Snarbolax, weapons, and shield. First, we must heat up all our 4-star equipment to level 10. It's funny, originally we had around 1000 shining fire crystals, which is what we need to level up our 4-star equipment to level 10 so that they can be upgraded to 5 stars. And we somehow managed to burn through it all just by making this set of equipment. Ain't that amazing? Now, let's unequip some stuff. And begin crafting our Barbarous Thorn Blade, Dark Briar Barrage, and our Barbarous Thorn Shield. And there it is, our Snarbolax weapons and shield. Let's put on our shiny new equipment and try them out. But before I forget, we managed to find this shield from a deconstruction zone. I just thought that it'd be neat to share that with you. So anyways, with our new gear equipped, we are now about halfway done with the whole Snarbolax set. We also have a Ashtail cap and coat, fully leveled to level 10, which we need later when it's time for our Snarbolax Shadow Lair expedition. But that's for a later time. I'm so glad that we now have the Snarbolax weapons and shield in our arsenal now, and I can't think of any other enemy to try out our new equipment on than the Snarbolax. And there you have it, everybody. We used the Snarbolax to defeat the Snarbolax. Ain't that something? If you enjoyed the series, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if possible, share this video. It would really help out the channel. And that's all I have to share with you for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.